In crypto, speed matters, but trust matters more. At Caleb & Brown, you're never on your own. We connect you with your own personal broker and a 24/7 team, ready to help you buy, sell, or swap over 250 digital assets with one flat, transparent fee. No spreads, no slippage, no hidden costs. Get the best market prices through deep, aggregated liquidity executed by our professional trading desk. Your funds are secured with institutional-grade cold storage for total peace of mind. Track every move in real time with our intuitive client portal, anywhere, anytime. Whether you're trading as an individual, trust, or business, we give you speed, security, and peace of mind. Thousands of clients in over 100 countries already trust Caleb & Brown. Visit calebandbrown.com and start your personalized crypto journey today.
And welcome to yet another episode of the Blockchain Brew Show. This is Sunday afternoon, 3:50 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And this is where we go live for the weekly close, where we look at Bitcoin's weekly close and dive into what the charts are telling us. Guys, today's show is sponsored by water. Normally we enjoy a beer on the show, but I went a little hard yesterday. Last couple of days, I've had several of these bad boys and a few of these bad boys and stuff like that. I even knocked down one of these bad boys. So, plus I have like a prayer meeting to go to later, and I don't partake before things like that. So, it's just the water today. And normally I would tell you that there's water in beer. It's fine. But sometimes you do have to just get some water, some good old H2O in your system. So there we go. And let's see here. We will jump straight into the charts. Guys, T Swizzy documentary came out the other day. I've already seen 2 episodes, and let me tell you, it is very good. So, I mean, look, even if you're not a fan, like, the artistry is just on another level. It's the artistry is admirable, and I don't know if there's been another tour like it. Even if you're just a fan of like music and production, I don't know if there's ever been another tour like it. Like, it's really insane what they did. The whole crew, the whole production team, they put on a literal masterpiece. So there you go. Let's see, share screen. Okay. And pop me up there. Guys, do you like the Christmas background? I'm going to put a +1 in the chat myself for the Christmas background. Okay. So, guys, we're just gonna go top down on this to start. And Bitcoin on the weekly chart. You know, the thing about this is that you know, this did hit the first take profit signal of this weekly sell signal that came in back here. And the last time, let's see, when is the last time on LuxAlgo that Bitcoin had a weekly sell signal with a red trend catcher? And look, there are times, you know, you had one right here, and the worst of the action was only a 12% drop. You know, you had one back here, and the worst of the action was a 17% drop. Not too shabby. But then, you know, there are certainly some times where you had this weekly sell signal right here that was followed by a red trend catcher, and that produced a lovely, you know, 74% drop to the bottom. That was the last bear market in 2021, the last traditional bear market, which, if you guys saw our interview with Mr. W himself, with our friend Wally, an insider at Bitwise, he works for Bitwise Investments. You know, he came on and said himself, this is his quote, the 4-year cycle is over. He said, I think the 4-year cycle is over, and I think we can put that to bed. So I don't think that we're going to see a traditional 4-year cycle bear market. Here's the problem, is that there are a certain amount of traders out there in the market. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Sorry, I thought someone was thought T-Square was coming in here to the chat for a minute. My bad. Yeah, so there are a certain amount of traders out there in the market who are essentially betting on a bear market, right? You have people right now that are saying, hey, Q4 of the post-halving year, we had a top followed by a large correction. And there are a certain amount of people, there's a certain percentage of people that are betting on a traditional 4-year cycle bear market. And the thing is, those bets or those shorts are going to be in profit for, some undisclosed period of time until they're not anymore. That's the thing. I do believe that those short bets are going to get blindsided very hard. Now, they might not get blindsided tomorrow. I think, personally, we rally to 100K in December, reject off of it. Muffhead says he thinks the Japanese bond market is about to tank Bitcoin. Well, but, didn't they already increase their rates by three quarters of a basis point, or by 75 bips, I mean, 325 bip levels, like in one meeting. So I don't know. I think they're about to increase again. Okay. But they did once in December already, right? Are they going to do it again? Are you saying January? I don't know. I would hope that that's already priced in, and I would hope that, in essence, the Japanese bond market is tanking Bitcoin right now, hence the drop from 94 to around the current levels. But let's see here. Macro. That's true. That has been true the whole cycle. So, on the weekly, my hope would be we are already oversold on the weekly according to this hyperwave down here. Right there. Okay. So we are already oversold on the weekly, and we did already hit this first take profit level. Now, we have a Lux Algo descending line of support, or it actually was a descending line of resistance, and an uptrending line of support, right? And what had happened, I'll turn those ones to yellow, so we know they're on the weekly. And what actually happened was, okay, 4 o'clock, weekly close is in, and we closed at $88,200, give or take. So in essence, let me get rid of all of the drawings. You're gonna see why I had such wild drawings on the screen. I'm gonna redraw everything for you right now. And I'm going to start with the weekly. So here's the situation on the weekly. Sell signal on Lux Algo with a red trend catcher. Okay. That took us, from the moment that came in, that was a 22% drop. 23, right? So from the very top, from the time that we saw this bearish divergence come in, and from the time we saw, the confluence bar, come out of the bright green, and we saw this bearish divergence, from top to bottom, we have fallen 34%, right? So we've hit the first take profit level. So let's put a horizontal line of support right there. And we do see that line cutting through some significant price action. Okay. Now, let's put this uptrending line of support and this descending line of resistance on the weekly. Okay. Now what you'll notice is that we broke above the descending line of resistance. We broke above it back here, and that's what eventually rallied us to $126,000. Now, what all we've done so far is we've actually just retested this descending line of resistance. Right? So we broke out from it and we've retested it. So we can definitely see a scenario from here where now we're kind of caught in the other side of this triangle here, and we end up, bouncing around. We can come up to $100,000 and then easily fall back over into February down to $78,000, right? This line will end up extending eventually back down to 74 or so. But that would take till May. Maybe what we do is hold a slightly higher low from the April levels, right? And we go to 78, and then we come back up from there, right? So, in essence, you have if I split this chart in half, right here, I'll make that line white. If I split this chart in half, you have this triangle pattern on the left side, and then on the right side, this would turn into a sort of bullish megaphone pattern, right? Where the lines just keep extending outward. And the top line of that bullish megaphone pattern, we gotta be able to grab this here. The top line of that bullish megaphone pattern ends up pulling out to, $155,000 by December of next year. I think it would actually break that, but my point is we can now target this upper line. And your first target, if we target it sooner, then the target is about 100K, right? Before probably falling back down. But if we come and we retest the lower line first, and we come down and right now that would be a retest of about $80,000, and then we go on from that point. Test the upper line, then we would test about $107,000, right? So I hope that that's what we do first, is we go 100 back down to 80, then rally to 107. That's my hope. Let me check up on the comments here. Nothing but love, my Fed. Let's see. Now, let's come down to the daily chart. And I'm going to do these in white lines. So, Lex Algo has pre-drawn these lines, and I love this because often, they're drawing these lines in a way where it's preemptive, and you wouldn't naturally draw these lines until you see the patterns play out a little bit more. So unless you're very, very good at recognizing these things ahead of time, these lines are being drawn for you preemptively. So here we are on the daily, and we have these lines right here. And you can actually see that on the daily, we're actually, sorry, I just need to get these right. Okay. On the daily, if you look at the white lines, we're actually sitting directly on top of this uptrending line of support, right? So a bounce from right here, which I don't know if we get it. Let's see. I don't know if we get it because if we look at the oscillator down here, it's not really the most bullish thing. You've got the the bright red confluence bar. You do have this little green dot here showing you that it's trying to reverse. You also have a bearish hyperwave, but it's not too bearish. You also have if I zoom into it, you can see the money flow curving down. It's not just curving down, it's like pointing straight down, right? And that's on the daily, so I don't, if I were to pull the regular old stochastic RSI up, it would suggest that we still have room to go to the downside here. So that's my bet, is that we still have some room here on the downside. So then we have to ask ourselves where, what level is going to catch us. Well, we have the stop loss here of this buy signal at $82,000. That's not a bad level. We have this yellow line, which was our line on the weekly chart. It was our descending line of resistance that broke out and then eventually retested. So we can come down to here. Those two spots are really in the same sort of situation. Now, if I go down to the 4 hour, reset. If I go to the 4 hour and do this number here and pull this up, Now we have a little more information, but it's bearish information. You can see that the line that I'm holding for you right here is acting as a very strong downtrend, right? So, we keep bouncing off of this line. Now, I will say on the 4-hour, we're hitting this take profit number one. We're coming very close to it at $86,345. We are also piercing almost into the green bullish reversal zone, which is this cloud down here. And we are getting a green triangle down here showing a potential reversal. Okay. Even though the confluence bar down there is bright red. But the problem is that the money flow is also pointing straight down on the 4-hour. Right? So that is a problem for the moment. Now, the good thing is that this is just the 4-hour, so hopefully, hopefully this uptrending line of support holds, right? We have this uptrending line of support that is acting just as strongly, if not much stronger, actually, than this line right here. So I think let me erase everything now. And when I erase everything, I think what we see is these connected here. And we got that from a different time frame. See how I did that? Like, I started from higher time frames and kept those drawings as I went down. And as I did, I located that trend line. Now, I could have just recognized that myself. Sure, you see the touch points there. But I like doing it this way, drawing on top of Lux Algo's lines, because then when you lower the time frame down, the line stays there, and you eventually recognize which one seems to be the most important. Okay? And so that uptrending line of support came from a higher time frame, meaning it's a much more important line than this one. So here's your case for a long with a tight stop loss. Your case for a long with a tight stop loss is that this uptrending line of support is much more important than this line right here, which, hopefully you're going to break this line up here before you break this one. Now you do have all of these touch points, 1, 2, 3 touch points now. The more you do that, the more likely you are to break it. But since we're right on top of it, you can long with like a 1% move to break the lower line, and almost a 3% up to touch the top line. So it's like a 3-to-1 risk reward ratio on that. Never mind the fact that on the 4-hour, look how low the stochastic RSI is, right? It's at 0. So you would expect some kind of bounce to come in. The hyperwave also reflects that on Lux Algo. It's very low. Anything below 20 is very oversold. So there is a good case there for along with a tight stop loss. Check up on the comments over here. Yeah, maybe 100K this week, then 83 to 87 drop. That is kind of what I'm expecting, actually. And I don't know if I'd say this week, but I would say before Christmas. But, there's something actually very important in that regard that you have to take note of. If I turn off all my Lux Algo indicators here on top, and then, let's see where the moving averages have us. Okay, there's that daily chart. Okay, we're below the 21, but I'm gonna get rid of that as well, and I want to show you the Bollinger Bands. Pull up my indicators, Bollinger Bands, and what you're gonna notice on the daily is how constricted these Bollinger Bands have become, right? Like, they're very tight. And the Bollinger Bands are a measure of volatility. So basically what happens, you see the green line here, the red line up here, and the middle of this is basically the 20 simple moving average. The red line on top marks a wall of sell orders that's constantly moving, right? And the green line on the bottom represents a wall of buy orders that's constantly moving. And as those lines constrict and they get tighter and tighter, what it's showing you is that neither of those walls have been breaking, right? Neither of them have given out. And that cannot stay that way forever. One of them is going to give out, right? Another way you can think about the Bollinger Bands is it's just simply a mark of volatility. When they get close together, volatility is constricting. Well, volatility will only constrict for so long before it eventually expands, right? So when the Bollinger Bands are tight, it's telling you that a sizable move is coming. It just doesn't necessarily tell you whether that sizable move is up or down, right? You have to sort of take that information from your other indicators. So the Bollinger Bands are very tight, and it tells you that a bigger move is coming. But, you have like $94,000 up here to the top side and $86,000 here to the downside. And the question is, which one of those levels is gonna give first? Let me take that off now. I did not mean to do what I just did, but indicators, Lux, Algo, signals. Okay. No, not that one. Not that one either. My apologies. Let's see. Lux Algo. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be that, but I don't know what happened to my I actually have to rework a couple of these things. Sorry, turn my reversal zones back on, turn my trend catcher back on, turn my take profit and stop losses back on. Okay, there we go. Now we're back in business. RSI, over 200 moving average on 2 weeks are setting up for the second big bull move of the year. Well, you know, okay, let's look at it. Yeah, I do see what you're saying. So, the thing is, you're talking about RSI, probably low RSI, and bouncing from the 200 moving average on the 2 week, and that's what it did back after the April lows. I can see that, but on the 2 week chart, it's still, we can have a little space before that happens, right? That can still take until January, February to play out, because you're only getting a candle every 2 weeks, So if you get 2 more sideways candles on that chart, you're still going into, pushing February before a breakout, which is kind of where I see us going, in my personal opinion. I'm thinking 100K before Christmas, retest the low 80s, maybe even as low as 78, and then go back and break out above about $107,000, confirming that we are officially back in the right direction, in my mind. Yeah, it does this, 2 times a year. That makes great sense on the, if you're talking about the 200, if you're talking about the 200 week moving average, on a 2 week chart, it would make sense that you only get that sort of thing a couple times a year. You couldn't get it much more than that. Or else, it would be being an embong and way too much volatility. January, February. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, PB. I'm with you all the way on this, actually. I don't know if you've been in here before. If you haven't, anyone that's watching that hasn't been in here, please like and subscribe. YouTube is a hard grind. You might not be subscribing to the biggest, the best, or the brightest crypto community on YouTube, but you will be subscribing to the most hydrated crypto community on YouTube. Usually we have a beer on the stream. Right now I'm just having water, so I guess I actually am the most hydrated this time. Last couple days we really took down some beasts. This one was 14.4% stout. I wish Bitcoin would get a 14% move to the upside. This one was a bourbon barrel-aged imperial blueberry s'more stout. Normally I'm going after these double dry hop hazy double IPAs, and that one came in at 8.4%. Is that it?
It is, actually.
Guys, I just got something from Amazon right now, and thank you, PB. Thank you for following. Like I said, YouTube is a hard grind. We appreciate every single subscriber that we get, every single new member of the Brew Crew. Guys, my book that I just wrote came in, and it is titled "Seeing Popular Bible Verses in Their End Time Context." And my wife did that. Let me hold on. Gotta get the chart off the screen real quick. Look, my wife designed the cover herself. She even made the Canva file. Well, anyways, she created Canva herself. We're actually rich. She is the CEO of Canva. No, she's the CEO of Drag and Drop. Anyways, yeah. So, hey, I am an outspoken Christian. That's always going to be front and center of who I am and what I do. That doesn't mean I'm going to overwhelm the audience with it all the time. But when it comes up, it comes up. And hey, I'm really proud of this one. So there you go. You can find it on Amazon, Seeing Popular Bible Verses in Their End Time Context. I'll even drop a link in the description real quick. He said crypto beer, exactly. Hey, you got to see if this is your first time, you got to see my co-host, T-Square. He's a lot more energetic than I am, With me, you're getting a lot of Cardano. You're getting a lot of XRP as well. But, with me, you're getting a lot of Cardano news, a lot of, I read a couple weekly newsletters every week, one from Caleb and Brown, one from Crypto in America. So you're getting newsletters, you're getting Lux Algo, you're getting some traditional TA. With T-Square, you're getting the energy and entertainment, and you're getting a whole lot of market cipher analysis, which is real valuable. You're getting some beers from him too. But wealth transfer incoming if we keep the faith with wisdom moves. Yes. The Proverbs speak of this, like, a transfer of wealth from, the wicked to the righteous. Now, people have taken that verse in Proverbs to mean like some sort of prophetic, like, transfer of wealth from the wicked to the righteous. And I don't know if I quite see that. I think that the Proverbs are just, speaking in terms of wisdom or foolishness, like, the wise will end up, gaining the wealth of the foolish, just as a principle in a proverb. But you read verses, passages like Haggai chapter 2, and God says, once more I will shake the heavens and the earth. I'll shake the sea and the dry land. I'll shake everything that can be shaken. And this is, in the end times. And he says something interesting. It says, the silver and the gold are mine, says the Lord. And it's related to accepting donations that got wrecked. Hold on, Daniel Ghazi. Look, what you need to be doing at these levels, Daniel, is opening up like long positions and short positions at the same levels. You need to hedge if you're trading, right? I know you're always looking for those longs on Gala, but like, hey, if you're going to take that long, then find something else to short just in case the market moves against you. That way, once you see that it's not going the direction you thought it was going to, then you can cut off the long and you can still get those profits from the short. Hedging allows you to actually, realize that you're wrong without taking as much of a loss. We must take it with wisdom, education. Wisdom is the ability to apply knowledge exactly. But yeah, so it's okay, Daniel. Keep your head up, Daniel Ghazi. Keep your head up. A lot of us need to keep our heads up right now. He says, I call that a crypto eagle. Long short together, it prevents liquidation. Right. I'll give you an example of how you do this. Like, if I'm unsure about what's going to happen, then right now I'm going to put in a long on Bitcoin at, right where we're at. sitting above that uptrending line of resistance right here at $87,000. That's where I'd put my stop, a little under that. But then you go to Ethereum and you short at this level, right? That way, if you're wrong about the long and the market starts moving against you, you cut off that long and you're still profiting from the short. You could do it on the same asset as well.
Man, look at that.
Nice. As these are our Christmas gifts that we're giving everybody. My wife has been incessantly baking sourdough. So put a +1 in the chat if you also have a wife that bakes sourdough. Or put a +2 in the chat if you have a husband that bakes sourdough. Put a +3 in the chat if you live in your mom's basement and your mom bakes sourdough. But this is actually my wife. I promise it's not my mom. I don't live in my mom's basement. I just live in her second house, where I pay rent. But sourdough. Anyways, thank you. All right. Let's see. Yeah, anyways, that schlong position, you go short and long at the same time and hedge your bets that way. Try it a couple times, Daniel, and I'm telling you, it'll calm your nerves. You have to do it you don't just haphazardly do it. You have to do it in situations like this where you're sitting above where you're touching a level, right? And you may break out, you may not, right? BTCC allows you to open both on the same asset. I use it with 75% long or short and 25. Yeah. Okay. And we do have an affiliate with BTCC, and I'll just show you guys real quickly here. Both of our exchange affiliates. Share this tab instead. We do have, this here with BTCC. Right now, you can get a 10% bonus on your first time deposit up to $10,000 and 40% off trading fees. So, I'm working with them right now to try to get this set up for you guys, where you're going to be able to get $100 just for signing up. So check out our link in the description for BTCC. Also, we have, the first link in the description is for BYDFi or BidFi, however you want to say it. And right now with them, you can get up to $10,000 in volume-based trading rewards. And here's the best part about, unfortunately, I have to scroll a little bit to find this one. I should have reposted it today. So here's one the other day. It was only a 3% trade, but we have VIP signals in our Discord that are in partnership with BidFi, with the exchange. And what happens is top ROI traders. Yeah, I got you, PB. I'll recap XRP. Top ROI traders, the signals aggregate these signals from top ROI traders. So because they're different, I'll actually show it to you in the Discord. Why don't I do that? The Discord logged me out, and in order to log in, I need to scan the QR code with my phone, and my phone is my camera, so that's a little bit of a conundrum. But if you guys want access to the Discord, we don't just have it we don't just have the link in the description because too many scammers come in. We don't want to vet all of those manually. So send us a DM and I'll get you in the Discord for free. Send us a DM on X, at the Blockchain Brew, or email us at blockchainandbrew@gmail.com, or just type your Discord username in the chat, and I'll write it down. Either way, any one of those three ways, I'll get you into the Discord. And if you have a BidFi account with our link and you fund it with at least $100, then you can get the VIP signals. And every day they give a swing signal, a scalp signal, and a market analysis. It's really great. Yeah. So, the other thing about this, like, watch, I'll show you the one that I took the other day. The signal was right here, right? So it gave the short position, entry, stop loss, take profit. It shows you the chart there, the reasoning behind the signal. A lot of times it'll give you an area entry. It'll give you like 4 take profit levels and a stop loss. So it's pretty cool. If you don't have the discipline of like letting your stop loss and your take profit do the work for you, then following those signals is a great way to exercise that muscle and develop that discipline of not just taking random trades, but letting your stop loss and your take profit do the work for you, right? So this signal, right before Bless token really just took off and like almost 10x in a day, I got into that trade because of our VIP signal with BidFi. Let's see here. I don't know why there it is. So this was in October. These were some of my best trades of the whole year. And it was right after the big liquidation event. So it gave you this entry on Bless with 7 take profit levels, a stop loss, gave you the chart right there. It's all about risk reward ratio, right? With the stop loss right here, you were only risking this much to the downside and standing to gain, all this to the upside if it went back to the highs. So, I took that trade, and I've been in and out of that trade almost ever since. I had a 400% gain, a 368% gain, and a 343% gain. I had others, but X only lets you put like 4 pictures in one post. So guys, the VIP signals are really worth it. They really are. So yeah, either exchange, they're both in the first 2 links in the description. You get 10% deposit bonus with BTCC, which is a great deal. And if you deposit $100 on BidFi, then we'll get you into our VIP signals. So, you deposit $100 on BidFi and then DM us on X or email us at blockchainandbrew@gmail.com. There you go. And XRP on me. Come back over here to TradingView. Okay. So XRP on the daily, the thing about Lux Algo, man, I need to follow up on my affiliate with them and start getting that linked. But anyways, Lux Algo on the daily, you have this red confluence bar down here, right? What the confluence bar is telling you is that everything in the oscillator agrees that it's bearish, right? During times where the confluence bar is bright green up here, like that or like that, it's telling you that everything in the oscillator agrees that it's bullish. So something that is that we should take note of on the money flow is that we have overflow right now, something called overflow, right? When you see the bright red part of the red money flow, that's overflow. And the overflow tells you that you have late sellers coming into the trend. You have late sellers coming into the trend, right? And now, that's just one part of the analysis. You have to take that, on its own, or in confluence with everything else. Here's what I don't like. On the daily, you have a break of a trend line and a red trend catcher and a red money flow and a strong sell signal, with the first take profit down here at $1.62. So, man, that... Now, I will say, the trend catcher has been red for a long time, and this is the third signal. So, usually, well, I guess there was a buy signal here, and but usually after you've been having these, like, they lose a little bit of their after a while. Like, you would have wanted to, swing trade the first one or the second one even. The hyperwave is getting low. If I pull up the stochastic RSI, it is good that we're getting very low on the Stokes. I go to the 4 hour on XRP. Reset chart view. Remove all my drawings. Then here's the situation that we're seeing on the 4 hour. We actually do have green money flow on the 4 hour, and the hyperwave is getting to 20, so it's breaching oversold territory on the 4 hour. If we say that if we put a horizontal line of support and resistance right about here, just because those have been major levels, you see touch points here, those were big breaks. You see touch points here, we've wicked under, but then what you end up with is a descending triangle. And so potentially you can target back to $2.06. And the good thing about this is you can put a tight stop loss because it's so low to the flat, the horizontal line of the triangle. You can put your stop right under that line at $1.95, or heck, you can put your stop loss at the take profit of this short here, and then your stop loss is real tight. You're only risking a percent or two to the downside versus standing to gain 4.5%. So you've got over a 4-to-1 risk. Well, about a 4-to-1 risk reward ratio on that. So that doesn't look too bad to me. On the 1 hour, reset chart view. And on the 1 hour, you know, it is not bullish here on the 1 hour. You know, the stochastic RSI, look at it crossing down right there. You know, the hyperwave on Lex Algo shows you the same thing. The hyperwave has this bearish cross right here with the gray dot. I will say that red money flow on the 1 hour is starting to lose its umph a little bit. You know, back here, the money flow was getting below the red threshold line. And right here, it's staying above the red threshold line. And, you know, we are piercing into the bullish reversal zone on the 1 hour as well. So once you start piercing into that cloud, I mean, on the 1 hour, it depends. You can just fall through it. But look, you pierced into it here, and that was a little bit of a bottom. You tapped it right here, and that was a nice bottom. You pierced into it right here, had some relief. Pierced into it right here, had some relief. You tapped it right here, had some nice relief. You know, but then you have this one right here where you just epically kind of blasted right through it. You tend to do that when when the reversal cloud starts looking a little thin, though. It doesn't look that thin to me right now, so you know, probably one of these take profits of the short is potential bottom, $1.92, you know, hopefully. Let's see here. Well, that covered XRP, and I think that is about all I've got for today. Before I go, I do want to just drop this link on you guys because it just got delivered. There's the link to the book that I just wrote. Maybe it is. Yeah, it should be. And it is called Seeing Popular Verses in Their End Time Context. So I'm very excited about that. And thank you guys for joining. Thank you, PB, for joining the Brew Crew, the most hydrated crypto community on YouTube. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Dream Tanks TV, for coming on in. Thank you, Daniel Ghazi, for hopping on the stream. Thank you, CryptoMine64. Thank you, Overtaker. Thank you, Muffhead. And cheers. See you guys on the next one.